What's up, dudes and dudes to the internet? My name's Scythe, and today we're going to be taking a look at my Trove PC new hub world. Ooh, the new spawn is absolutely beautiful. I love it, seriously. Dare I say that I love my own creation? Granted, I ended up having a whole lot of help from Merc. Joe ended up helping placing down a couple blocks and stuff like that as well. But in either case, I do have a planned tour of the Xbox and more notably the PS4, because that is actually getting a new hub overhaul as well for Trove. But as of right now, the PC one is the only one that's actually finished. And I know that it's about time that I ended up doing a world tour of Team Pixel and then the other console versions respectively, but we're just going to be focusing on the new hub here, folks. So first of all, let's just get right into saying that we're not going to be giving away any prizes or anything like that today. We're just going to be giving away the information and also just taking a look at some cool builds and stuff like that. So hopefully it's something that you find interesting, and if you do, don't forget to hit that like button. Hello, Jub Jub. Come here, sweetheart. Why are you... She's eating her bed. I don't know why she does that. So you're probably gonna hear a whole bunch of snorting and stuff like that. It's not a pig, it's actually my little pug, which kind of rhymes with pig. She is a pig. Like, she's a pig in a dog's body. It's really, really strange and weird. So anyways, this is gonna be the spawn. Yes, this hub area is based off of the 3-star dungeon that you can actually see in the Forbidden Spires biome, which, I mean, as soon as we ended up seeing it on the test server, you know, Merc and me were just like, whoa. This is cool. I want this to be the new hub. So we've got quite a few crazy things going on in the hub, lots of secrets and lots of other things that we're slowly just adding over time. But I know most of you are probably just sitting here wondering, where are the fixtures? Because that's what everybody keeps asking. So as you end up spawning, most of all you spawn facing this way just because you get a nice pleasant view of the environment and everything like that. And then otherwise the fixtures are going to be over there. All of the Uber portals are going to be over there. But all you got to do is turn around and read some of the signs that are actually around the area, and just take the yellow portal. This is going to take you over to our fixtures area, which I'll show you that in a minute, and then take it again to go over to the portal, to the Uber portals and stuff like that. And then the green portal is going to take you to all of the previous hubs, so it takes you to the original, if you want to actually hang out there, the Halloween hub, the Christmas hub, and then right back here. And then the blue one is going to end up taking you to the portal hub, so this is where you can end up exploring all of Team Pixel. We got all these portals and kind of like very specific areas, red ones for PvP, etc., etc. But unfortunately, with the Adventures update, for some reason it reset all the signs, so we still haven't had time to go through all of these and set them up as to where they actually warp you to. It's quite a project, so we didn't really want to do it anytime soon. And then otherwise, jumping down these holes right here is going to lead you to the main area. You can also take the stairway right here, right back up. But down here, where you're going to find like all the Shadow Tower portals, all your personal stuff that's going to be over here, the club chest and everything, blah, 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 right? And then right up front over here, you're going to see all of the crafting tables and stuff like that. So, of course, this is not really going to be very important for most players that are a part of the club. Only people that have building privileges. Hi, Merc. And then also, I ended up adding this front window here so that if you end up going to the spawn point, you can just run forward, come down here, and then grab all the stuff. And then otherwise, that's pretty much the functionality of the club outside of when we look at the fixtures and the portals themselves. So now we're just going to look at the build. So the build itself is just going to be based off of that 3-star dungeon, like straight up. We're going to have 4 corners and then kind of 3, like there's going to be the middle blocks as well, like the middle houses. So this is going to end up, of course, being the big spawn house area. That's kind of like where the 3-star boss is in the dungeon. And then each of the corners just kind of has like little touches and stuff like that that we've added. Like you know, we have each of these little seasonal bonsai trees in each of the corners. The flooring is not going to be exact to the dungeon, and then trying to kind of vary it up and make these hallways look a little bit more lively, but you can't really go too overboard, otherwise you end up running into trouble. And then another thing, too, that I always love in my builds, which is great and why I really like the fact that we ended up getting to start over, is just that we can kind of get it all ready and set it all up so that it all ends up flowing very well. So while you can take the yellow portal over to the fixtures, you can always take this exit, and then the pathway is going to end up leading you over to the fixtures as well. And then there's going to be these little bridges that go to the center house, and you can kind of just explore it at your leisure, because I don't want to take too long around kind of touring the entire thing. Most of all, I just want to look at like all the different cool areas. So you can see we've added like sakura trees and chickens and stuff like that. They're evil chickens, by the way. And then I love these. Like, I love these kind of ceremonial ropes or whatever they're supposed to be. I love using these. We've been using them like crazy all over the place. Well, like crazy. You kind of got to have a very subtle touch. That's kind of what I personally like whenever we're building stuff, is just you don't want to go overboard. Because I've seen lots of clubs that go overboard, and they're really pretty, don't get me wrong, but it's not really to my style. And then over here, we just got a couple katana swords to kind of symbolize that this is going to be where combat is. So you take the pathway over there, and that's just a framework that we didn't end up building that tower or anything, but that's going to be where all of the portals are. This whole area we had to build like from scratch. There are frameworks that do allow you to kind of make this 3-star dungeon, but they're not to scale. Like, they're kind of a little bit bigger than the actual dungeon itself and don't really end up working out very well. Plus, anyone that's used the frameworks knows just how difficult it is to actually place down a framework in a specific place to make it actually line up with another framework. Like, it's really, really difficult to actually do. So we just built all of this from scratch ourselves, block by block, and we're very impressed with ourselves because we pretty much were able to actually get this done within the first day of the update. So that was actually pretty cool. And then kind of slowly over time, we've just been adding like finishing touches to it and stuff like that. There's kind of a couple secrets in the area as well you can end up checking out. But then if we end up going to the front here, I kind of turned this into a bathhouse. Probably needs to be a little bit more refined, but hey, whatever, that's okay. And then coming out front here, we just got a jade dragon. Not really anything too impressive. It's just kind of for looks. And I guess that pretty much covers like the base of it. Otherwise, there is going to be over here, we're going to have like kind of a storage hut coming outside of this entrance. And then over on those mountains over there, I'm going to show you that in a minute. Mark and me have just been working on that very casually. But over here, this one is a framework. Again, you know, kind of blending frameworks with like the natural stuff in the environment. And this is just going to kind of be like a storage shed, nothing really too fancy or crazy or anything like that, right? So let's go over to the fixtures just so I can kind of give you an idea of what we're actually doing with all this. We've seen this in other club worlds, which I think is fantastic, where we have on the vault, this is going to be our current goal. So as of recording this anyways, we actually have 2,644 clubits. We're trying to get our hands on 7,500 because right now we can actually upgrade the Rally of Heroes, but unfortunately we can't upgrade it so long as heroes are present. So that's going to be a little bit tricky to end up actually doing because I'm going to have to try and tell the other officers to not actually put down any more heroes within 16 hours so that we can end up actually setting this up, but we'll see what happens with that. But otherwise, the rest of the goal is so that we can end up getting our hands on the ultimate fixture, which is going to be this one, which ends up giving us, like, grants the chance to find additional gems and reduce the cost to upgrade gems to all members who have this as their primary club. And we kind of got an idea of where we're going to end up developing the club and everything like that. And then also we ended up having to seal off the minting machines, which converts adventurine into clubits, because of the fact that the merchant, this is so badly designed just as far as the game is concerned, unfortunately. The merchant at tier 3, which is right over here, he actually has a better minting machine that lets you convert more adventurine for 10 clubits at a time, but you end up getting more clubits overall for less adventurine. So it's just more worthwhile. And then this is going to be the merchant. I mean, I have another video kind of showing off all the different items you can actually get from him because we're actually working on it right now. I'm just trying to work on getting all the different items. I do have an aura video coming out sometime soon. But anyways, that's the tier 3 merchant. I put some LED blocks up and around there that look pretty cool. It kind of gave me the idea, like, as I ended up messing around with the LED blocks and putting them there, I thought, dude, we should make this place like Vegas because it's the fixtures and it's kind of like something that doesn't necessarily have to be in roleplay and context to the hub build itself. You know, this can kind of be its own unique area that kind of blends with it, but also has kind of a bit of a modern touch. And then we got the Fountain of Knowledge right here that I just put down as I'm recording this anyways, and that's going to end up giving more experience. We got the vitality thing. I'm not sure if I want to end up moving this fixture just yet. because I kind of ended up putting it down preemptively, or putting it down without thinking, but we might end up keeping it here and then having like a pathway go around here and then other fixtures around, and then maybe this will kind of just be like a centerpiece. We'll see what happens with that. But speaking of using those ropes, here again, like I really like how this ended up turning out. I actually took inspiration from this from Hat in Time, because the free roam map ended up having something very similar to that. But either way, very, very cool stuff, man. Really, really enjoy it. And then of course, you know, rejuvenation station, personal chest, loot collector, gotta have all the standard stuff over here. And then we got another sign here that might look a little bit awkward to some people, but the trade post is something that people always seem to have a very hard time finding, so I thought that it was worth actually putting the LED blocks over too. And then there's gonna be a couple other pathways that'll show us a bunch of side builds. We'll go to those in a minute, because first of all, I just want to hop over here and just show you that we have all of the Uber portals down here, and then as you end up going up this waterfall right here, up here we have all of the novice portals. We don't really have anything set up for this top section here. Maybe we could make it look a little bit fancy or cool or something, I don't know. And then the Radiant Tower right here, I just kind of had this idea a little bit after we ended up kind of fitting everything up, where this is going to end up being where we put club portals. So you can see we got like B Yellow's portal, the Dragon Kigurumi, Team Pixel 5, and just kind of standard stuff like that. And just going to end up putting a couple portals that are noteworthy up there. And then there's going to end up being the Shadow Tower over there. And that's going to end up being another area where we're going to put a bunch of club portals and stuff like that, right? Just because why not? So again, to give you a perspective, this is going to be the front of the main hub spawn. And then right over here is the fixtures. So as we end up coming down this pathway, we got a nice little custom bridge, the Shadow Tower, let's just call it, framework, and then this is another framework that we ended up just putting down. Haven't really filled it out or anything like that, but I just threw it in here just because I thought that it would kind of make this area feel a little bit more lively. And then we also have what Team Pixel always needs, is a hot spring right over here that Mark ended up making, and then we got air gust blocks to kind of give the impression that it's steam going on. I wish that we could actually put those underwater and stuff so that they would still end up carrying the same steam, but unfortunately, that's just not really how it works. So then if we end up coming through Fixture Town, let's just call it Fixture Town, we got a fishing area right here. We do have fishing in the hub area as well. So let me just hop on over to here just so I can show you. Right over here by the training grounds, we kind of have like all the different liquids so that you can end up fishing. And then if we end up going back over into this direction, there's only a couple more builds that we got to just check out real quick here, folks, because otherwise, again, that pretty much covers like all of the utility, like all the stuff that you actually need to interact with. Otherwise, all these other things are just kind of for fun. So if you come over here, this is the pathway that comes out of Fixture Town. We got the framework giant bridge, which we thought was kind of funny and a little bit like weird to put like this gigantic bridge leading to such a tiny little island. And this was all just naturally generated, which is really cool. And then we put down this framework right here, and this is Joe's house, no friends allowed, of course, because ha ha ha, you know, it's trying to be funny. And then if we end up hopping all the way back over to the hub, just give me 2 seconds here. One thing that we really wanted to keep is kind of the whole like visual, the look of everything, because this biome in itself, the Forbidden Spires, is so cool because it tackles verticality, which most of the other biomes don't end up doing very well. But over there, we've got 2 opposing mountains. Okay, Jub wants off my lap. There you go, sweetheart. Except I'm not going to let you eat your bed. No, sir, no, ma'am. That was her bone falling on the ground. Sorry about all the noise, folks. But we've got those 2 opposing mountains over there. Whoopsie daisy. And Mark had this idea that he wanted to have a bridge between them. And we ended up just putting that together just before I'm recording this. And I think it ended up turning out very well. You know, we got a very nice silhouette going on over there, leaving some of the trees and stuff like that. So let's go check it out. We don't really have like a proper pathway going over here yet. We're going to probably end up making like bridges going over all the water and stuff like that, and kind of making it come over here a bit more organically, because that's kind of the thing, is organic is always what it's about in Team Pixel. Like, that's what I love in builds, is trying to make it all flow together as if it would actually be in another RPG, rather than just Trove, where we don't really have like random walking NPCs and stuff like that, right? So right over here we got kind of the main entrance. This is gonna be like a mining area. So you can see we got plenty of ore, plenty of stored finances and export and stuff like that. Got one of these going on up here, this, what do you call it, like a pulley system type of thing that comes all the way up here. Of course, you're going to need to have a lot of jump if you're a player yourself that's just kind of doing stuff like this. And this elevator in itself, like this thing right here, I just want to give a shout out to my man Lord Scythe, who I haven't talked to that guy in like a million years, but either way, he ended up actually making something similar to this in Vile Scallywags, which was his club world. all pirate themed and everything like that. Absolutely loved his builds, like seriously. So ended up taking a little inspiration there. But this bridge, if you're sitting here going, blah, why didn't you end up using prop items to make this bridge? Merc and I actually did end up making this bridge out of prop items, and then afterwards we realized, wait a minute, you can't see prop items in a distance. They can only end up generating in if you get close enough to them. So unfortunately, we didn't have the silhouette of the bridge going on because it was all prop items. But then again, you see right here, we got the ceremonial rope and everything like that. I don't know if it's like ceremonial or anything. It just kind of looks like it's like, you know, kind of similar to the Tibetan mountain, like monk stuff and everything like that. Maybe that's not what it's supposed to be. Then we got a nice giant custom waterfall here, a bunch of rocks and everything like that. We're going to have to slowly end up fleshing out over time. And then here's more of a mining area again. And then you come up here and there's a little bit more for trade and everything. And then we're going to have to make a proper pathway coming around here. But otherwise, we kind of got this more organic, magical type of shrine going on up here. And I kind of played with the idea and talked with Merc about how maybe up here, in roleplay anyways, is kind of where mages end up training. So it's kind of like, you know, there's going to be magic and dark arts and stuff like that, kind of like more magic-based warriors training over here, whereas over in Team Pixel it's going to be just more standard like fighters and stuff like that, as far as the roleplay is concerned, right? Because this is kind of like nice and secluded, and then, you know, we can use like our black magic for explosions and stuff like that, so that we can end up, you know, using black powder and everything to end up going into the mining and stuff like that, so it makes a little bit more sense. And because of that, we also kind of have this more tranquil area going on, this little shrine that goes to the Jade Dragon again. Absolutely love the props that came out of the Forbidden Spires, like seriously. And then we got this little house right here, which Mark is going to end up fleshing out as his own. Get out of the way, critters. And we ended up, this is another fixture that we ended up planting down, but we ended up kind of customizing it a little bit because this fixture normally actually generates with pine green as the walls, which looks absolutely disgusting when it's combined with red. So we ended up just replacing it with all the white and stuff, and it just kind of looks very standard and very good. So then here is going to be a nice little viewpoint, maybe a little bit of a balcony going on or something, and then maybe kind of a training area or something, or going down into the basement. I don't know. And then we pretty much just have the one last thing over here that I ended up just throwing down on this mountain just because the generation was so super duper cool. And you can end up reading the signs for yourselves if you want to actually check this out, because it's just kind of like jokes and funny stuff. We got this guy over here who's like really, really greedy, and then we got a George Washington painting which does not fit with the biome at all, but it's just kind of an ongoing joke because that's something that I ended up doing in the Hot Dog Fortress a million years back. And then I put an owl up here just as kind of like a throwback to Assassin's Creed, because doesn't this look like an Assassin's Creed viewpoint? I'm probably going to end up putting, like, maybe if I can, something that looks like a hay bucket down there, just because I think that would be so cool, just because, you know, I love Assassin's Creed Origins, even though I haven't really had that much time to actually play it off camera, just because I've been busy with all the Trove stuff, not only just grinding our clue bits and everything like that, but also just doing all these builds on the side and stuff like that. But either way, by the time this video comes out, you'll probably end up seeing a little hay bale down there or something like that, and that's what it is. It's just a shout out to Assassin's Creed, because, I mean, that game's awesome. But in either case, thank you so much for watching, everybody. This video was a lot longer than I expected it would be. I was actually hoping to kind of get this done in like 10 minutes rather than 20, but in either case, hopefully that ended up answering any questions that you have, because I know that lots of people have been invited to the club recently and they don't really know where the fixtures are or anything like that. First of all, I would just say that it pays to read the signs, like seriously, because the signs actually tell you very specifically at the hub. Not only do they explain the rules, but they also end up talking about like where you end up actually going for the fixtures and stuff. But look at this, man. Like I'm really, really satisfied with how this ended up turning out, dude. Like, it just looks so detailed and so cool, and I'm just really happy that we ended up getting this as our new hub and everything like that, because the other thing too is now that this is a new hub area, it means that we have a lot less stuff going on, you know, because otherwise if we end up going to the old hub, though it's beautiful, don't get me wrong, we got so many props and so many different like VFX and items and stuff just all around the area that a lot of, you know, it was very glitchy over here, just because like video effects of most of your shots with the Shadowhunter and other classes didn't end up working out very well because of the fact that we're over here and there's just so many video effects going on and everything like that. Not to mention it's just really, really cluttered, so many builds and stuff like that, which again, it's great. It's not like it's a problem or anything, but I personally like the fact that now we got to have kind of a fresh start and kind of get to organize and work it all out with a bit more of a plan, because, you know, that club, that hub area, I ended up building back in the closed beta, so it just kind of ended up having that and then slowly spread over time, whereas something like this, we're kind of trying to plan out all of the builds and make it a little bit more, you know, fitting to the biome and stuff like that. But in either case, thank you so much for watching, everybody. Very much appreciate it. Don't forget to like, share, favorite, and subscribe for more daily content. That's also going to build up loyalty points by merch store. You can buy this shirt, you can buy this beanie, you can buy a bunch of other things. And then also for those of you that want to go the extra mile, you can donate to me for absolutely free. Check out the Gawk Box link in the description so that you can end up finding out more about it. But otherwise, have a fantastic day. Sayonara and stay epic, everybody.